Welcome to Beyond the Game, Wealth Mastery for Athletes. I'm Chris Benson, private equity real estate investor, and I'm joined by 9-year NFL vet Alec Ogletree. Beyond the Game is a podcast where we will provide a playbook for financial growth both on and off the field. Join us each week as we'll have in-depth conversations with other pro athletes as they walk us through how they've created wealth beyond the game, both on and off the field. They're going to share their triumphs, lessons learned, and setbacks along the way so that you don't make the same mistakes. Join us. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Alec Ogletree and I spoke with Tyrell Adams, better known as TA, today. Great conversation. He says it's the GOAT, greatest episode of all time. It's only episode 2. So
one.
Well, Alec wants to call it 1. I don't know. We'll see where it ends up. But look, we talked about 3 things I think that were important. 1, TA is a grinder. The man was on 14 teams in 8 years. That he was not a first-round draft pick like Alec, who was spoiled. And this man worked for everything, still working for it. Grinder, learn how he did that. 2, the relationships he built that got him into real estate investing. We touched on that and what is creating that passive income for him today. And then 3, how he gives back. He's got an incredible foundation where he's impacting the youth in his community. So check out each one of those things today. I think you guys are going to love the episode with Tyrell Adams.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Game. Got my good friend here, TA.
Road out.
With my co-host here, Chris. Hopefully we get a chance to...
You guys set the bar high. First guest
Really high. Listen, man.
First guest in the couch.
Make it happen.
Come on now.
So, right off the bat, I guess, talk a little bit about yourself. Like I said, Tyrell Adams, that's your full name, right? You played 7 years in the NFL, 1 year XFL, right?
Yep.
Total 8 years playing professional, right? Went to West Georgia, all that stuff. Heard you was a man down there.
Man, listen.
He was a man down there.
All-American.
All-American. Hey, he was a man down there. He was a man down there. But, okay, you end up coming out for the draft. You don't get drafted, but you end up getting signed to, who did you sign to first? Seattle first, right? And so...
Wait, tell a story of that, though. You didn't get signed to Seattle. Tell people, for people like me who don't understand what tryout means.
Man, I love telling stories, so listen. I'm going to just do the intro. Tyrell Adams, man. Everybody call me TA. Man, Alex, man. Ollie, bro. I follow Alec, and he was a fucking Georgia legend at the time.
Stop lying now.
Swear to God. Swear, bro. I'm talking about, I'm trying to have these, crazy games. We see the Friday night highlights, and they're like, Alec Ogletree, 45 touchdowns, 80 tackles, 1 game. I'm like, what the hell? Going crazy.
This is in high school?
Yeah, it's in high school. It was crazy. But all to say, man, born and raised in Atlanta, went to Mays High School, played ball there, wound up going to West Georgia on a partial scholarship.
D2.
D2 school.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have shots at 1AA?
I had one AA school recruit me, and this is how I kind of knew the game had a lot of more intricate parts than I thought about it. Because for me, football wasn't a big thing for me at the time until I got a little bit older. I didn't realize you could go to college football, get a scholarship, all this little stuff with it.
Was it in your family? Did you have?
No, it wasn't. So I learned to play football, bro. I got 5 brothers. Nobody was in sports at the time. My neighbor, he would always leave for football practice. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But all right, whatever. They leave. Then one day his dad was like, hey, you want to come to football practice? I was like, all right, I'll go. And I remember, I'll tell you, this is no joke. Our first day getting there, our first drill, we were running full speed to tackle these dummies. I tackled that dummy so fast, I fell in love. I get up a little woozy. I'm like, ooh, I like that feeling. It was set from there. And I just started playing from there. And then that was
incredible.
8 years old. And then
Isn't it funny, though, how your life is so directed by a thing? Like yours is your neighbor.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't live next to that guy,
exactly,
maybe you don't play football and your whole career goes in a different path.
And I've never thought about it like that. It's crazy because his dad, only reason we went was because his dad was the coach. And he would leave every day. And I was like, it was like, you want to come with us? Because you always outside playing with him. We were the same age. He's like, yeah, I'll go. And we just moved over there. So.
It's crazy.
But,
all right, sorry.
Oh, you good. So, like I said, go to West Georgia. Had 1 D1AA offer. Go to West Georgia. I'm a safety. I'm a physical safety. I'm all right in space, but...
Like Brian Dawkins kind of thing? What do we...
I won't even go that far because Brian Dawkins could cover at the same time. I was at safety, and I remember this guy ran around on me he was from down in what's the area called? Griffin, Georgia. Guy named Daenerys Applin. We both were freshmen. And he opened up in the middle of the field. I said, I can't play safety no more. He was so fast in open field. I was like, bro, no, this is not how fast they were at high school. I swear to God, it wasn't. So,
whole different game.
What? This is a whole different game. But needless to say, I still thought I could play it. And moving to linebacker, I thought it was the worst decision ever. I'm like 195 pounds, 200 pounds at the time. They moved to linebacker. I promise you, I was the most nervous linebacker in the world. I remember watching myself my first game. I was in my stance like I was a DB still. Because I was so nervous to play linebacker, bro. I was like, bro, I can't play down here with these big ass boys. I need some speed behind me. And I was in my stance like so awkward, bro. They were dying laughing at film the next day. And coach was like, T, what's wrong with you? You look nervous as hell.
Yeah.
Nah, coach, I wasn't nervous. It's just I ain't know what I was gonna do. I was trying to get ready.
You figured it out.
I was figuring it out though, man. I promise you. But I promise you, man, I probably was the worst linebacker in the world.
Hey, we kind of got.
But I feel like that, bro. I feel like the worst linebacker in the country.
Yeah.
I remember telling myself that, bro. You look terrible.
We kind of got something similar, same story. I came out as a safety and got moved to linebacker when I went to college.
Yeah.
Like you, as you know, like I was playing safety.
How does that work? So the like defensive back coaches say like this ain't gonna work for you, but we think you're athletic enough.
No,
strong
they
enough,
look at
fast enough.
They throw a lot of things at you. They say your frame, you got the good size.
Yeah.
I feel like you're really physical. I think you'll work at linebacker. I don't mind, like, I ain't as big as these dudes down here.
Yeah.
These boys like 225.
Yeah.
230.
They hitting linemen.
I'm 200, but hitting linemen.
Yeah.
I got to get some speed behind me before I knock somebody out.
Yeah.
Just going on point contact,
For
like,
sure,
man,
for
that
sure.
can't beat me, man.
For sure.
But I had a lot of pride, though. So after that first year, like, watching it and, like, being a backup guy and, like, watching myself, bro, I was like, bro, I can't keep doing this. So I worked.
So that was the motivation.
Yeah, that was all I needed.
Yeah.
To watch myself look that bad on film.
So
go ahead.
So talk about like when you got you signed your undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
To who you say again first?
Seattle,
right?
Yep.
Like talk about kind of that experience and just kind of, you know, what they were offering you at the time and just kind of
what they were offering.
What made you go Seattle call you like, okay, hey, Tyrell, you know, this is blah 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 from Seattle. I want you to come up to Seattle and be on our team. Come want to sign you as an undrafted.
It's literally not what the conversation was.
What was it?
That shit was completely opposite.
So talk to me.
Hell no. So you gotta let them know your story is they call your name on TV first round.
Okay.
All right, there's 7 rounds. 7 rounds, all right?
Yeah.
There's 7 rounds.
Yeah.
Y'all get y'all picks. And after that, they got priority free agents. Guys they want. They just weren't that high up on the boards.
Okay.
They called them, a couple teams called them, so those guys get like a little leeway to choose the team where they go to.
These are priority
free agents.
Priority
free agents.
Okay.
Them PFAs.
Okay.
So those guys, they get signed, they choose what team they want to sign to, they offer them a little signing bonus. You know, most guys, I think the most I heard was like maybe like $60K. But they go from like $5 to $60K. So guys get like $500.
Okay.
But
come play football.
That's priority free agent.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
This guy's after that.
Okay.
So you got drafted, priority free agent, undrafted, and tryout.
Okay.
So tryout is the privilege.
Are you tryout?
Your teeth kicked.
Are you in tryout?
Tryout. I'm with the tryout.
Okay, you with the tryout. How did I'm saying how you know to come try out? Like what?
So
you had an agent at the time?
Yeah, I had an agent.
Okay.
That was hard to get. That's another story.
Okay.
But so they called me after the draft. Seattle, literally the only team I was getting like real traction from. They called me. The scout had been like coming to the games. He was coming for another guy. So luckily we had a guy on the team that was they signed a priority free agent.
Okay.
They gave him a little contract. Gave him a contract out the gate after the draft. And they had come and seen the games. And every time they come to a game, I do pretty well. And the scout tried to kind of build that relationship with me. I wound up doing all right. He was like, hey, we want to bring you out for the tryouts.
The scout guy.
For the rookie minicamp, yeah.
That's who calling you, right? See, people don't know that. People think it's like...
No, ain't no big guy calling.
It's like the big top... No, the top
I'm
of
like,
that card,
I'm like
they got the scout. That scouting you.
So the scouts got their area, and they got their players they like. So they fight for me and all this.
Yeah.
Like, man, I got to get my guy. I think he could be a good guy.
He going to be good, right?
Man, I'm telling you, man, I never forget him, man. I really appreciate that boy. So he got me up there. Now he the director of the Senior Bowl.
Okay.
The recent Senior Bowl now. But a really good dude, man.
That's
what's mindset going into that? Your tryout, dude. You got Alec coming out first round. Like you're surrounded by those guys. What do you think going in? Do you think you can play?
Man, I'm gonna tell you. So my one of my biggest struggles was always having confidence in myself, and it stemmed from just watching guys so much.
Yeah.
So you see guys on TV at these big schools, these big names, and you start to make them bigger than who they are sometimes. Not saying they weren't great, but it's like you start to make yourself smaller in the image of them. And now you're diminishing like how good you could be or what you could be or who you are at the point at that time. Sometimes.
Is that imposter syndrome? Just I'm not good enough? Like, did you have it? I mean, you came a different story, right? Like first round guy, came from a big school.
I mean, yes, all that was true, but at the same time, I always played football just because I'm like, I know it's somebody else out there good. I want to see how good. I want to compare myself, not really compare myself, but I want to challenge the other great people, right? The other great ones that you get a chance to play. Like you grow up playing against, like he's saying, like he was like, I'm a Georgia legend. Doesn't matter, you go to the league, now you go if you're playing against Aaron Rodgers and you looking at them, you looking at Cam and all them, you like, man, them guys are like legends. So you like, yeah, man, I want to play.
See where he's
I want to play against them too. And it's like, you know, you got to show me.
But how did you get through that? Was it just...
And that's real though. So like for me, I twisted it and not just intentionally. I think that's just how I was. For me, seeing these guys on that stage, I was like, man, I want to play with these motherfuckers. Like, excuse my language. I want to be like, I want to be up there with them. So I'm going to keep striving for that. So I used to work, you guys from college, I used to work like, I wasn't started at the time, which was crazy. But I always had in my mind, like, I want to be the best D2 linebacker. Well, the best in our conference, GSC. Then I want to be the best D2 linebacker. I was like, after that, I want to be the best D1AA. Then I got to beat all these guys on FBS level. Like, it's so many different levels of ball. So I'm like, it ain't enough. I got to keep working.
Where does that come from for you? Is that a family thing? Like, can you see where that was instilled in you? Because that's not a thing, right? Like, not everybody has. I would call that grit. No. The grit to say, I'm good enough, or I'm going to work hard enough to be there. And most people aren't going to do it. No, that's sports, that's life, that's work, that's career. It's almost anything.
I think so. Man, I think it's because I thank God I was blessed with like a little bit of kind of like humility with a lot of things I did sometimes. And then being able to not be so self-absorbed to the point where I didn't think I had to be better. So for me, I remember, and I battle with this a lot because I try to teach a lot of young guys this, is like, you think, not saying I'm against it, but what's the word for it? Like, how you feel about yourself, what you think of yourself, your confidence kind of matters. But in that same breath, whatever you think of yourself, you got to be able to prove that and work to prove that. So like, I can't just say I'm the best player
and not put it
because I think I'm the best player, but I'm not actually going out there and being the best player. Now I think you're starting to create this like fault and like rift in your brain and how things are playing on your life, and you're trying to figure out why things ain't going away. So for me, it was like, when I wasn't getting the accolades, of course you want them, but in my mind I was like, if I didn't get the accolade, that means I'm not as good as I think I am. So I had to work some more. It's not apparent for the guys on the outside. Because I always tell guys, it's got to be. You could
take that as feedback.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be apparent. Like, I understand there's some like negative situations where like a guy just don't like you or they just hating on you, but like certain things are undeniable.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how I wanted to be looked at in certain areas. So if I felt like if it wasn't undeniable, that means I need to do more work.
So does that translate, not to fast forward, Alec, but so, I mean, you touched on it. You played for 14 teams across 8 years. Yep. That's insane.
Got it.
That's insane.
Talking about packing light everywhere I go.
Backpack.
Yeah.
Backpack.
I got a backpack. So how, I want to dig in just real quick to the mindset piece, and then we can kind of get back into how does, like, mechanically, how do you do that? How do you manage a life outside of football when you're moving that much? But if someone told me, and I'm just putting myself in your shoes, if someone told me you aren't good enough 14 times, right? Like, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like, it's hard. It's hard to have somebody saying that, or, you know, a cut to me like that. It still hurts.
Yeah. To not to cut you off, but to just kind of shed some light on a little bit. It's not solely that somebody says that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
It's some situations is like, you know, they be like, man, we need numbers in this room over here in the DB room. So we got to let a D lineman go. We got to let a offensive guard go or a linebacker go because we light over here in this area and these guys are hurt. We got 3-4 guys out, you know, so it's kind of hard to, I think every situation, I mean, sometimes, yes, it does happen where you have athletes that you say they're not good enough, but at the same time, so every situation, they give you the book of excuses as to why they cut you, you know. I find it hard to believe, if you make it that far, for him, especially a guy like him, a grinder, you know, to play that long for that many teams and still have that drive to go, you know, that's commendable for sure.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So along the journey, I kind of like learned from like a lot of coaches, like mainly my college coach, how to like put into words kind of like how I was living at the time. So for me, I would always like, how they would put it was taking the control out of somebody else's hand. They always said, control what you can control. I didn't think about it like that, but I had been living like that. So for me, it was, I can't control if I'm good enough. Or like my rookie year, I get cut from Seattle, but going into the situation, you could say, you know you want to make the team. You're a rookie. They just drafted 2 guys the year before. You got 2 perennial all-stars and Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright. They're already there. And then 2 other guys they drafted before that behind them. So the odds you making the team are slim none anyway. So it's all right. You just had the odds stacked against you. But for me, I went back into it. I need to work a little bit harder. I need to be better. I got a gauge of where I need to be at, so I need to get there.
Did you have a mentor along the way who was pushing that into your head? Like who was like, hey, you have it, but you got to put some more work in? Or was that just all internal?
Man, I think it was mostly internal. I remember like, the stories are so crazy, man. I remember like vividly, like really wanting a mentor, like badly. Because for me, again, I'm like the first to be in the football, the first like to go to college.
In your family?
Yeah, the first to like blaze his path, trying to figure out the NFL. I was like one of the first guys from my school to actually make it through. The next year, a couple guys get drafted, but like I'm the first to like
out of West Georgia.
Out of West Georgia. So I'm like doing all these things as a first. And I wanted the mentor. Yeah. So I didn't know what path to go, but I was like, I'm just keep working.
Grinding.
I'm just keep grinding, just see where the hell it takes me.
Let go and let God.
Yeah, exactly.
As they say.
Exactly.
So how does that translate to just day-to-day life, right? Like without the stability of I'm going to be on this team next year. Were you married at the time? Like early in your career, married, kids?
No, so I was single when I had my first daughter. Her mom was pregnant with her going into my rookie year. So they gave me a little drive to actually kind of like make something and strive for something. I was actually fighting for something more to myself at this point.
Yeah.
But
you had to buy diapers.
What exactly? So I was single at the time, and I remember, man, I'm telling y'all, bro. So before I got into the league, I'm still like not sure about this. Football is my plan B.
Yeah.
So I'm in college. I get my degree. Bro, I'm in an interview with Northwest Mutual.
I work for Northwest Mutual in college.
I'm in an interview. They offered me the job. I'm finna be selling. I'm finna be selling insurance.
So you selling insurance?
But I'm in a big ass baggy suit. I ain't got no professional suit. Downtown in the big old building they got. I do the interview. I do really well in the interview, and I remember just sounding like, real life is coming.
Yeah,
I'm being a cube.
It's coming.
I gotta grow up.
So I'm walking down. I get a call in the elevator from one of the teams. Like, hey, why don't you come do this workout? Ooh,
I'm going.
I'm talking about hollering in the middle of nowhere.
Hey.
Hollering.
Yeah.
Someone go to the league. I'm gonna go to the league, mama.
Yeah.
I'm going to the league.
Yeah. All I needed is that one call.
All I needed was one call.
That one call. That's the thing too, is like everybody, you talk about opportunities. It's just like you was about to go do something else, like instantly right there, and then all of a sudden the phone ring. They call it like, "Oh, won't you come to?" You like, yes, that's exactly what you've been wanting. That's what you've been wanting. What you've been praying for. All that, right? Yeah. And so, as we kind of talked about it, like, how did you navigate? You know, I guess in terms of like taking care of your business. Like, did you start like investing in stuff early on in your career? Did you wait? Like, what was kind of like some of the things that you got into to begin with?
Again, so for me, it's still levels to it. So for me, I was a practice squad guy on up and down for my first 2 years.
How much money do practice squad guys make?
So at the time, I was at 66 a week.
66.
Before tax, 1,600 a week. After tax, before taxes. After taxes was like 38, I think. Somewhere around there.
Boom.
But I remember like, this is like my first real money ever in life.
Yeah.
So I'm getting
doing the same amount of reps.
But then,
we doing.
Oh God, it's terrible. It's
plus
the worst.
more.
It's, man, I'm
and they're beating on you.
Oh, it's a
plus more.
Bro, it's a terrible, bro. So I'm thinking I'm making bank.
Yeah.
I mess around and see an active guy's check. I say, oh, hell no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way in hell.
Yeah.
This is when I start realizing the power of multiple.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 6,600. I'm up.
You up.
I see that game check. I said, oh my God.
Hey,
I'm
here's a little different.
I'm fishing in the wrong bucket.
Yeah.
I'm fishing the wrong way.
Here's a little different.
Man, what? But, bro, it's so going through that.
So
having like
wait. You're netting 150 grand a year, rough and tough.
Yeah.
Not the first job out of college. I didn't make 150 grand a year out of college.
But it's all perspective.
Well, I get it.
It was good. It was good.
But then you see guys like Alex rolling
they rookie contract. What it was like 455 at the time. About 500.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So they checks like 23,000 a week. I'm like, oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah. It's definitely levels to it for sure.
So, and you start seeing guys with big contracts, and you watching them get paid like $1 million a week. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
After taxes,
I'm doing the same thing.
And I'm doing more.
What?
I'm doing more. They gotta come in on like Saturdays too, because they don't even travel. They don't even get to travel.
You gotta work out before while everybody gone.
Yeah, everybody going. You gotta come in and work out.
And then here's a little insider that a lot of people don't know. So you'll go to training camp and hope to make practice squad. But if you get injured,
go home.
No. Oh. If you get a significant injury, you get IR. IR is like you get
half your pay.
You get half your pay.
Everybody.
Which is way more than practice squad. Yeah. I remember watching guys I knew wasn't gonna make the team get injured, get put on IR, and I get put on practice squad, and he making more than me all year. I'm talking about the thief of joy is comparison. Oh my Lord.
Amen to that.
And I'm like, I'm in the work
doing nothing.
grinding. Knee extensions.
He's in the training room.
Knee extensions, trainer room.
Making bank now.
Making bank.
But that's
motivation.
It is.
That is motivation.
That's kind of, it's a good business, but it's an amazing business how they run it.
Wait, what'd you tell me last? You told me about Life Ain't Fair. What one of your coaches told you?
Oh, my trainer. He said, we'll treat everybody.
Oh, that's right.
No, we won't treat everybody equally. No, he said we'll treat everybody fairly. We're gonna treat everybody equally, but we'll treat you fairly. Yeah. We'll treat you fair. We ain't gonna treat everybody equal, but we'll treat you fair. You know what I mean?
That's the hierarchy of life. Yeah. And it doesn't change, right? It really doesn't. I mean, think about corporate America. I came through a different hierarchy, but I worked a lot harder than a lot of dudes who were making a lot more money than I was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that mindset piece. So wait, just back to the nitty gritty. So you're making 150 grand a year net. Pretty good. But first money you've ever seen. So like, take me back to like the kitchen table with your parents and your brothers and sisters. How is money perceived? What level of education did you have on what to do with it?
Man, none at all, man. I was kind of like trailblazing in a sense as far as like making money over the poverty line, like making over $50,000, $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
So my parents kind of really had a conversation. My mom, like, she's one of those people like, I'm just let God handle it. I ain't gonna think about it, and we would just get through it. That was how she dealt with her finances. Whenever financial issues come, like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And there was no strategy to it or anything. So,
and were there resources for you as a practice squad guy in the league? I mean, once you start getting a paycheck, who's talking to you about, hey, what are you doing with this? Anybody in the locker room?
I got blessed, so I think a part of it was I got around some good people. My advisor, they were really good people. Like, really didn't want to take advantage of me, I think, because of just knowing the situation I was in and how, for lack of better terms, how low on the totem pole I was as far as like careers in the league at the time. So they understood like I wasn't in a position to do like no crazy like investment stuff or
private clothing line, Alex.
Yeah.
You should have got them.
I didn't do that my rookie
all these
year
other like crazy things, and for me it was just like you just got to build some money now.
Yeah.
Because you got to.
So you had a financial advisor though who had his arm around you saying,
yeah, exactly.
Hey,
they were really
put 20% away. Don't be stupid here.
Exactly. And I kind of had a good gauge of it too. I mean, I had those fears. My biggest fear was being one of the guys they say, because all you hear every freaking rookie meeting, you're gonna go broke.
Yeah.
All NFL players go broke 2 or 3 years after they see Don't go broke. Now I'm paranoid. Like, don't go broke, TA. Don't go broke. Don't become a statistic.
So what'd you do? What was in your mind? What were the things that got or kept you from going broke?
I did a lot of things below the means. Like a lot of things that guys like would feel like I should be doing outside of football. Like, oh, you NFL, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. You should have this type of car. I was like, nah, can't do that right now. That ain't my tax break.
What cars you have in Seattle?
So I ain't had no car in Seattle.
That a boy.
At the time, I didn't have a car. I ain't need one. It was rookie year.
Dude,
we stayed at the hotel and got busted to the facility.
He'll take the Ford Explorer.
I'll drive this freaker.
I will too.
No, you won't.
Well, just take the Ford Explorer out. I'll drive my own car and just however much you pay for that, add it to the
salary.
All right.
Let's do that. Don't give me that Ford Explorer.
So y'all negotiating right now still?
Yes, we definitely
still negotiating the terms. All right.
No car.
It's a live negotiation.
Hey,
right
he asked me. He said how much you wanted to make. I said, usually, I mean, was making $10 million, right? He said, well, we'll pay that.
Can't pay that. Listen, this is hard to make. This is hard to make $1 million in regular life. Not regular, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're not in entertainment,
for sure.
Yeah. Not the 1%, right? Do you guys know what 1% income level is in the United States?
What?
Like $150,000.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. You guys look, even as a practice squad guy, you don't understand. Look, 8% of the U.S. population is accredited. Yeah. That means they make more than $200,000 or $300,000 a year if you're single or dual filer. 8%. So that means there's 300 million people in the U.S. rough and tough. So 24 million people rough and tough make over $200,000 or $300,000. As you start to climb that ladder,
it dwindles.
Dude, it's insane. Yeah. The top quarter of 1% is stupid money, and then everybody else, it's like football, right? You got 3 or 4 guys in the locker room that are killing it.
Yeah,
killing it. Right, the $1 million game check guy. Everybody else is like minimum. Alex says, you got a lot of thousandaires, and you got a few millionaires.
Yeah, there are a few.
And in the pantheon of normal life, it's the same thing, right? Dude, the average salary in the United States is less than $60,000. That's average income as a human being in the U.S.
For it to be so much money here,
right?
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people take different roads, different avenues. It's kind of,
man, so, bro, even like knowing all that, man, I was like, again, this is that fear, fear of like loss and becoming a statistic. But also, I kind of like saw it play through. I remember
with guys.
Yeah, with guys. So like watching the guys in those situations, like, how they must have been spending like crazy. I remember a guy my rookie year, he was drafted, played that rookie year. I didn't play my whole rookie year. I was practice squad my entire rookie year. And 3 years later, he was hitting up guys asking for bread. And at this time, I'm going into my 3rd year, finally getting active, but I hadn't made that much money at this time.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking in my head, like, bro, I know for a fact you made more money than me. So, like, what happened in a sense? And guys kind of just living above their means, living with those guys that's the 1%ers of them. Yeah. So, like, they spend
keeping up with the Joneses.
$10,000 or $1,000 on a night. That's a dip in the bucket for them. Dropping the bucket versus a guy that's literally making league minimum, but still spending $10,000 at a time.
Yeah. That's
a big chunk of your salary that year. Yeah. I don't think guys realize that because they were getting paid every other week. So they think, our plans is next week.
So answer this. I've watched some people talk and, you know, you hear former athletes and some current, they'd be like, they almost feel like they don't have time to kind of invest into like their finance and learn a lot more and like kind of be present. So a lot of times, you know, we'll push it off to somebody else to basically take care of it or whatever, cousin, whoever it may be. I'm just really want to know, like, do you think there's enough time being a professional athlete, doing everything that we got to do, and also being able to take care of like your finances and stuff, like being present, doing stuff?
I'm really big on being great.
Yeah.
So I think hell yeah. Like I look back on it like hell yeah.
Yeah.
But guys don't like. Again, athletes are just like regular people. We still got the same flaws everybody else has.
Yeah,
like we can be lazy at times because we make a lot of money, so it's easy to hide behind it.
Yeah.
And make it look like we're just like got it all figured out. No, we just got a high salary. Don't mean we financially
smart.
Like we're not making good decisions with our money.
Yeah.
We're not responsible sometimes. So I realized that, and I was just telling him about this. I wish I was like, and granted, I'm still trying to play, but had I known what I know now with like the properties I acquired and like different business ventures I did, like I swear I wish I was doing this while I was playing, because it's been so much nicer that I've been putting this money aside in businesses versus going out or my next trip type stuff. But again, I can say I didn't have the time, but I promise you I had the time.
You had the time, right?
I had the time for sure.
Like you still, and the crazy part is like the older you get, you most definitely do. And the older you get, you kind of see, you be like, man, when you go, get a loan from a bank or something like that, like it's much harder probably now when you're not in the league.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that income coming in, right?
Facts.
So when you in the league and they give you that, man, them banks are lit, yes, because they know that money's coming in. They can see that. They're much more likely to lend to you.
You're better with credit risk.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because this is guaranteed, right? You sign this, they're going to pay you this amount guaranteed no matter what. So you kind of leveraging, you got opportunity to leverage your deals, but obviously you want to do it in a smart way. But that's why I was saying, like, there's plenty of time for us to go out there, go to some of these meetings, go to some of these like little summits and stuff. Not even necessary to be like, I'm the smartest guy, like, oh, I make all this money, I know what to do with it. Like, nah, man, I'm coming here to learn. I come here to learn something, be able to, hopefully inspire me to, okay, I was thinking about doing this in real estate or something like this, but I went over here and heard them speak about this, and I had triggered my mind to, oh, okay, I saw this coming. I can go do this. You know what I mean?
I think that's a real skill though, too, though. So actually being like financially responsible is a real skill that people think you just automatically have because you make a lot of money. That's not the truth.
And it's learned.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing that nobody understands, like you guys talk about it, is you make all your money from 20 to 30.
Yeah.
Are you young as a crap, man?
Right? You have no idea what you're doing. No one knows.
Everybody coming at you.
Everybody else is saying, hey, give me money. We make the normal people, right? The biggest income earning years are 40 to 60, right? So that's when you got a little bit of maturity and experience and you can see what's happening in the world and be like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
And the exact opposite for professional athletes, right? It's why we wanted to do the podcast, was to be able to say to people, hey, learn from the guys who've gone through it. And let's help build a community around the idea of, hey, during the league, when you are making your money, what can you do to create the stuff beyond the game, right? Like generationally, how do you take care of yourself? Because it's hard to shut it down at 30, 31. How old are you, ITA?
32.
You're 32 and
no, I lied. I'm 31.
Hey, they about to get him. They about to get him.
At 25, man.
Going to get that check. Go
at 25, bro.
Go ahead and get that check, man.
Definitely 31.
Man.
It's just another year.
Dang, it was 31.
31, and now
I think I told somebody I was 32.
You just told me.
Definitely 31.
You just told us you were 32.
I know, but I think I told somebody and left away from the conversation, so now they think I'm 32 in this world. I'm already 31.
You're close.
I don't like
You're
that.
materially correct.
Close enough.
But you now have to figure out, let's assume you don't go back. You got to figure out, all right, I made this amount of money. How do I make that last until whenever?
Yeah.
Or I got to get a job supplement along the way. And that's so hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, without the experiences of life teaching you along the way.
So when you kind of go back to some of the stuff that you ventured into. So you started a foundation. You got into real estate, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And can you kind of talk about like how you got started with the foundation, then kind of some of the things that, what made you want to go to, do some real estate ventures or whatever, right? Like how did you get involved with that?
So the foundation, Tyrell Adams Foundation.
Y'all can donate to it.
Yep, come on, go ahead. We need all the love. The babies need love. They love the love.
For a bigger cause.
Started it 2000. We started doing work in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We officially formed the foundation in 2018.
Yeah.
But basically, we just try to meet people where they are. Try to show love to the community where I grew up in. My biggest thing is like giving back again.
Mm-hmm.
Tying back into that piece where I really wanted a mentor. and really wanted some.
What are some of the things that you do, like with the foundation? Like, what do y'all do?
So we every year we do our Thanksgiving drive, Christmas drive, do a little male mentor youth.
Okay.
I'll take a group of guys from my old high school, from my college to some youth conferences I go to.
Okay.
I really got cool with some powerful motivational speakers. So they always kind of help us out, and I go take those guys, and they like get to meet these guys and hear some powerful words and see different celebs as well. But like I said, I do that. We do this past year we did our first time. We did a college care package for some seniors from my high school.
Okay.
Where we send them off with like things they would need for their dorm room. Because I remember going through their process. It was the first time college
being on your own,
college not knowing what I needed. So it was dope to kind of do that with them. I do my golf tournament, our charity golf tournament every year. That's kind of just to raise funds and kind of keep this dream alive that we got.
I'll be cheating in this golf tournament too.
No, it's that you think
I played in it 2 years in a row, man.
The problem is
Tyrell, the high score was like a shock. It was like 30 under or something.
That's crazy how they be on them cards, man.
The first year that you came, it was a high school team that won. And they were legit though. They were legit. They would fight. It was a scramble. They were fighting to play each other's ball. Like they were mad if they didn't play the ball because everybody thought they had the best ball.
Yeah.
And then the next year, we had a team with one pro on it. You had a pro on the team, like a professional golfer.
Yeah, that's not fair.
And but also to keep things in perspective, Alec thinks he's better than he really is. Yeah. Alec can hit like 3 good shots, 3 good holes, and he swear he just figured it out.
Yeah,
and he'll just go.
That's how golf works.
0 for 15 on the next 3 holes.
That's how golf works.
So was Alec missing the humility that you had when you were like, wow, these guys are really good at things?
Alec thinks because he's great in football, he should be great in everything else.
Yeah.
It's a mindset.
Yes.
It's a mindset.
Alec, tell him who won in ping pong. Yeah.
He doesn't want to admit it.
No, you won.
I did. He did.
Hey, Chris did. He did win. He won twice.
I appreciate it.
We ain't done playing. It ain't like it was just, you played me twice.
Oh, he gonna keep playing.
I'm gonna keep playing.
He gonna keep playing.
You know what I mean?
Trust me.
The outcome.
Listen, across the board.
Once we fix his serve, how he's
bad, he gonna keep
technically
playing.
He really kind of forfeited the first game because he wasn't even serving the ball right.
All right.
Just
back on track. We're gonna be here for 4 hours
for sure. But
the foundation, you're doing great work across the world with the youth of your community.
Yep. Now talk about like your real estate kind of stuff. How did
wait, what's first investment outside of let's take the stock market away from it because your financial advisor is probably saying to you, hey, I want you to take 20% of your check, put it in these funds, right?
So my first real major investment was real estate. I kind of just heard about like the stability of it and how to get into it. I got lucky to get involved with a guy that was kind of already doing it a little bit, taught me a little bit. And then my biggest thing for me was personally, I don't like the thought of like having somebody completely oversee what happens with my money and I have no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to learn the real estate a little bit just from like a broad perspective. Like, how do you make money then? What does it look like? Like refinancing and buying this home and renting it out. Like I want to see that whole process. I don't want to be on every part, but I do want to see how this works.
Sure.
So a guy walked me through that, and then I believed in the process, and I did it, and it turned out to work like really, really well for me.
So what did you do? Rental?
So I bought my first residential home down in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay, you bought a residential,
and then it wound up doing really well, and then we kind of got some more homes, and then we bought a commercial building.
Okay,
trying to like learn that process of just building out those plans and renting stuff out and all that. You know, what I mean, kind of building a residual income up, but.
Mechanically, who was managing? Like, was the guy you're working with a broker? Who was feeding you deals?
Man, I just got lucky, man. A guy I went to college with, he was kind of in it already. We had built a good relationship. He was my roommate. He wound up trying to find a way. He was already interested in it, just didn't have the funds to do it. But we were kind of really close, and the relationship was genuine. So. We would kind of like bounce things off each other. He wanted to help me. I wanted to help him.
You can trust him.
Do you find that having those relationships are important to like kind of nurture and, you know, keep it going? Like you said, build that trust with them. Because a lot of the issues that we fall into is just finding that who to trust.
Yeah.
You know, who to trust to, you know, help you make the right decision. Who has your best interests at heart, you know. because it's your money at the end of the day. You got to be able to have the final say-so about it, whether you're going to do it or not. Everybody can feed you whatever. But like at the end of the day, the relationship that you built with that person, you know, I feel like that kind of helps people go over there like, yeah, I'll do it. I want to work with you because we built that relationship.
And I think it's two parts to it. So like you said, like being able to have that trust in them, and also like having trust that they're genuine, and also having trust that they know what they're talking about. Yeah. So again, you know, going into the process, you just getting thrown guys at you. You literally meeting people you never known before, and you expecting them to oversee hundreds and thousands of dollars of mine, millions of dollars of mine. It's like, I don't even know.
Who are you?
But I guess y'all say he's supposed to be doing this, whatever. But that's cool. But for me, it's like I wasn't comfortable with it.
Yeah. Did you form a partnership, like a formal partnership with your college roommate? Did you guys have like a structure that you worked out before where, you know, an operating?
Oh no, so he already again, we got just in a good situation. He he was kind of like doing some brokering of some deals, and he had an off-market deal that he wanted me to get into, but he was like, I know this would be our first deal, so I want you to see what I'm doing at what I'm already doing. Okay. Before we do it, so you can
you can vet it.
What I'm doing. Yeah, exactly. You can vet it out. So I watched how he was doing his crib, and then I was like, all right, it looks pretty streamlined and straightforward. So while I'm doing it with mine, and he repeated the process, and he kind of like built that trust up where I could keep working with him on some future projects that we're doing. We still work together to this day. So
do you still have those single family homes?
Yep.
How many you got?
4
in Columbus. Still in the Columbus area.
Yeah.
Hey.
Got it. So and
all rented out.
All rented out.
Occupied.
Well, one of them is.
How long you had them for now? What?
Was it 3 years?
Okay.
4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how'd you get in the commercial building?
So that's the one we are in partnership on. He already had the building. They had the funds to kind of like renovate it because it cost a lot.
Yeah.
And I wound up coming on the deal, and he gave me half equity in it, and we started building it up. We got 2 of the units rented out. Still working on the other 3 units, and then just kind of growing from there.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. But again, this is relationships, man. Me and him, we were roommates together. We were cool in college. We were really cool. But of course, he met hella friends there. I met hella friends there. But we just kind of had the same work ethic when it came to things. Kind of had the same like morale and ethics around everything, how we moved and everything. So those things aligned. So it's easier to kind of move in business with them. I think that's a key part. It's like having the same alignment as far as like morals and ethics about how you do things. I like people say how they move, but
for sure,
once I see how you're moving, then I can trust that.
You can
more.
Trust it.
Then you just telling me that, because I know a lot of good sales and other guys. And me, I'm one of the worst people ever. I'm really gonna believe whatever the hell you say. If you tell me you, I'm like, man, I trust you, bro.
Yeah, you know what? You good for it.
And then I get burnt there.
Burnt. Why I get burnt?
So now I'm like, man, I gotta hide from myself.
For sure.
I gotta hide from myself.
That's really the thing.
Worst deal you've been exposed to that you did, or that you heard of and you said, nope, that's stupid.
It's not too much information, but
no, this is the best time to share. Maybe you can trust Alec.
I remember at one point, bro, a few years ago, I heard about a deal where I don't know if you guys know about it, but guys in the league, they were selling
those cards,
like a piece of like their it's kind of
contract,
like NIL.
Right?
Yeah, they would sell like a piece of their contract.
Yeah,
their future contract.
Yes.
What?
I've heard of that. I heard the exact same thing,
bro. So
I heard the exact same thing.
Guys were like selling like I guess so. Think of themselves like an entity. They were giving guys equity in them, which gave them equity in their contracts, their future earnings.
Like their future earnings, whatever
and they
did
that so that they could have the cash up front?
Yeah. And I was like, what?
So they would discount it? So they're like, Alex says like, hey, I'm guaranteed $1 million next year. Give me $500,000 today and you can have the $1 million?
I don't know how it was done. I don't know, but
I heard that too, though.
It was going around. My financial advisor had told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the hell? Ain't no way in hell.
Hey, so they selling your equity. Like,
yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard that too.
That was
probably. Did you
like
do it?
Hell no.
Oh, like
right. You can tell me that 1,000,000 times any way you want to. That sounds dumb as hell. I don't know what the hell.
They got like a lawsuit or something about that, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I never like looked back into it, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, I definitely heard about that too.
Is there one you lost money on? A deal or something that you put money into that didn't go well?
Mine, I did. I tried to do this clothing line thing. He said,
"He got no swag." Somebody trying to do a clothing line.
Hey, watch yourself now.
You should look in the mirror and be like,
watch your mouth now. Watch your mouth.
I like what I like. I don't think everybody like it. Man, come on, man. Listen, when you get the lead, you start believing things about yourself you know damn well.
No, it
Alex wasn't going to start it.
It wasn't.
He got pitched.
It was already going. Like the dude, like I had got the team. Like when I was with the Rams, I had got everybody's suit. The dude had made suits for everybody, right? Yeah. It was a gift to everybody, right? So we kept talking. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, shoot, he produced it. Like it was a good suit. Like I'm gonna show you a picture after the show, but. Dude said, I get traded to New York, and he kind of kept talking, like, we came to the house, like, we just building a relationship, right? And so I'm thinking everything cool. Then all of a sudden, he was like, okay, can you give me, what I said, it was like $250 to go in on this deal.
No, wait. Not $250.
No, I mean,
250 grand.
250 grand to go to do this clothing line, like basically have your own kind of like suit line in a sense.
You?
Yeah.
The Ogletree.
The Ogletree.
Tia, you would have bought an Ogletree suit.
Like, literally, I still got that art and stuff like
Let me see that. I got to see these, man.
I still got to
see these, man.
I'm going to show it to you. But long story short, basically.
What you thinking when he said it? You're like, you know what? I can't see you wearing it.
The Ogletree.
It didn't even say nothing. It was
Dude,
gonna
at
be
Men's
smooth.
Warehouse, you're going to love the way you look. The Ogletree.
Hey, Shaq started somewhere, you know. Hey, you didn't think people going to be wearing Shaq? They wear those Shaqs.
You're right. Which way you're right?
You hear me? So I was like, okay. I thought about it, you know, and my problem was I didn't go vet it out, right, with a lot of people.
With anyone.
You know, basically I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to make X amount of dollars this year. I can spend that real
T.A. asked him what his wife thought, though.
Oh, I know she
wasn't going for it.
I know she wasn't going for it.
No, you already know. You know how she is. But, you know, I love you, honey, but she wasn't going for it, right? So, anyway.
Wife is like the voice of reason you don't want to hear, though.
It is.
They the voice of reason you still going to ignore.
No, listen.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Listen sometimes.
Not listening.
But listen sometimes. So, I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, okay, boom. I do it.
Yeah.
Getting the money. Bro, I swear. It wasn't 2 weeks later, they sent out a memo in the league basically being like, oh, boy was a scam. He was
oh, my God.
All of this stuff like this. And they got me.
Lost it all.
Gone. 250 gone. Then he texted me. He did text me like, maybe like almost like a year later, like, I hope I can still call you bro. Got a little hair. Man, can you get my money back?
Man, he got a skill set because he came back.
Yeah.
I would dude, if I changed his name, say he done changed his name like 9 times.
That boy working.
The Ogletree, T.A. We missed out on that.
Did he have a fire suit on when he pulled up on you?
Yeah, man.
He was dressed to a T.
Hey, man, we done went to the ESPYs and all this, man. We on the red carpet.
T.A., you just hit on it, though. Like, you had a guy you trusted, you knew for a long time, right? You already had that trust. Alec, this is a dude making suits. He's like, hey, let's get into business. That's the thing. We see it all the time on the real estate side, right? This is a people business. Mm-hmm. Investing is a people business. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you got to trust the people because ultimately you write a check to someone. Yeah. Unless you're doing it yourself, you're trusting that they're going to be successful.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
What we talk about all the time is team and track record, right? Find the team, good people who have done what they're pitching you, right? Like your buddy. Yeah. He brought you to the house and said, this is what I do. Yeah. Like, do this. Yeah. And he showed you, like, I've already done it. And too many times people get caught up in the sexy part, right? We do self-storage. It's boring. It's a metal box on a cement pad. It's boring. There's nothing sexy about it. Yeah. It's not a clothing line, but
pays good.
Yeah, it pays good.
Hey, it pays good.
Man, listen.
You see why I'm asking for more? I know it pay good.
If it pay good,
I'm going to play.
I want some of it. I want some of that.
Did mindset shift happen for you? I mean, because you were fighting for contracts every year, right? Yeah. This wasn't like you walked in, hey, I got a 5-year contract. I'm going to get guaranteed $20 million. You were making good money, but next year you started zero, right?
Yeah.
How did that influence what you were doing? I mean, in your mind's eye, was it always, I got to make enough to create an income stream for me when I'm done?
Yeah. So, again, I was just being realistic about it. Even if I had made like a big contract, a $10+ million contract, I still understood that wasn't enough for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people don't understand. They think but you made $1 you good for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
No, you ain't.
You're not.
Life is expensive on a day-to-day, especially once you have kids. And then you start to project like what you want to do for them and then trying to put in place for like things you want to do. That stuff gets expensive and it adds up. So like I realized like even if I did play football for, granted, 15 years and made $10 to $20, $30 million, I know for a fact I was still going to keep working and make more money because that wasn't going to be enough to carry over for the rest of my life and my kids' life. So it was about more than me. And then I realized also is I'm really big on studying like CEOs and all these guys that's making real big money. They don't never stop working. They still investing. They got a job that pays really well and they're still investing.
Let their money work for them.
Yeah.
That's the real.
So what makes me think at $2-3 million that I can chill?
Yeah.
Like I ain't gotta keep working. So
for sure.
I think that's what kind of just kept me kind of like wanting to build more and create something that carried on past this football thing. Again, the football thing was gonna be my setup for what's to come.
For sure. Well, we won't hold you any longer, man. But before you go, we did want to give you something. For being our first guest.
Oh yeah.
Show.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Is this like supposed to be like?
That's for you, man.
All right.
That's for you.
Just show the camera though. Otherwise, other people just see the frame.
No, they don't need to see it, man. Listen, man. I got a question though.
Yeah.
Just like hypothetically.
Talk to me.
In this picture, who would you be? If it was me and you.
Who would I be?
Yeah.
I'm the dude in the first row with the glasses. See him? That's me.
All right.
I'm the guy sitting on the sidelines. Yep, that looks like me.
Which one would you be?
MJ or Magic?
Yeah. It's me and you now.
Me and you?
Yeah.
I don't even know what year this is.
It don't even matter. You definitely Magic.
It's early in Jordan's career.
Magic still look like he's still pretty young.
He's got the knee braces on.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Look at that arm by Jordan. That's a goofy man. I'm with him.
Why?
Because we both goofy. Mo, you holler.
Got his tongue out.
Looking like a baby reptar.
Hey, dude, he still got that tongue out.
Man, I appreciate it, man. It's love, dog.
Man, I appreciate you, man, for
real
coming
love,
through, man.
I appreciate it, gangster.
Yes, sir.
Love, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate you coming in.
Man, for sure.
What's the last question? Let's go out with this. What are you telling, so from a finance perspective, what are you telling 21-year-old Tyrell? So you're coming out.
2 questions.
Okay.
You asked that one.
All right, that's mine. What are you telling 21-year-old to think about from a finance perspective and how he should handle his business throughout, his career, however long that might be?
It's never too early to start investing. It's never too early. A lot of people like, even on a small level, and I really believe this, a lot of people think like you gotta wait till you get to a certain level of income, you making a certain amount of money. But I feel like if you can invest on a smaller level, once you get like to like the upper ranks, it's gonna be
the same process.
Easy as hell. You're gonna easily put up a $500,000 deal or something. It's gonna be hard if you ain't never put that much money to actually be like, I'm gonna invest $100,000.
It's an easy process.
You're nervous now.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you may got more, but like it's still kind of like
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. No, but you don't put the reps in that $10,000, $1,000. You know how to put a $500 away.
Yep,
it ain't gonna be nothing when you get there.
I've heard a lot of people say like people pretend that they're going to save when they make money. Well, if you ain't saving money when you're poor, you're not going to save it when you're rich either.
Exactly.
The other thing I would say with that, Tyrell, is time is the greatest investment vehicle there is. Compounding interest and time, right?
Oh,
just
for sure.
don't lose money.
For sure.
Minimize the amount of taxes you pay, and you just hit singles and doubles for 20 years, right? There's too much social media, right? Get rich quick. How are we going to do it? Athletes fall into that trap too, but that's the real wealth is not created in a day, right? It's a 20, 30-year horizon. And it's hard for people to see an investment horizon like that.
And I think, man, we can go all day with this, but I want to add to that point is like a lot of us guys thinking on an investment aspect of 1 to 3 years. I think when my mind kind of shifted was when guys were telling me, all right, let's start talking 5 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time, but that's when the real gains come. That's when you really start to see yourself really learning how to invest and value things properly. So I think that's key to it, kind of twisting that mind. Because 10 years is fast. I didn't think it was that fast until I realized I was 31, not 32.
Dude, I'm 43. It just keeps going faster. Just keeps going.
I swear I was just in college.
Gone. But so you can make it just real quick, but just kind of your future that you see for yourself, you know, going forward from where
What's
you're at
5-year
now.
Terrell look like?
5 year, man. 5 year. 5 year TA. I got my kids. My son, he'll be 7. My daughter, she'll be 13. I'll be helping her with softball. My son will hone in on some eventually. Can't really tell what he likes to do. Right now, it's just rocks and dirt. Can't get him into sports. He hit the baseball like 3 times. But for me, financially, man,
rocks.
Get him in hockey.
I really like this business development thing. I actually just started.
Okay.
I actually just closed a deal.
Yeah.
Getting into franchising.
Okay.
And trying to learn this avenue a little bit.
What franchise?
Explore it. It's a smoke shop. It's a smoke shop. It's they like one of the first like franchise smoke shops.
Diageo just opened one too, huh?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Same company.
Same people?
Yep.
Okay.
Same people. So got another deal. Vetted the numbers and everything. Everything looked really well. It's an opportunity for me to kind of like learn some experience in like owning and
franchise,
leading a team, developing people, and trying to like squeeze the most of what I can out of a business. But I like that. I'm really a business type of like.
That's what we need, though.
Savvy guy. I like it. I like to actually learn this stuff. Again, I don't know most of this stuff. So 5 years, own a couple of those shops, transition into like more real estate, commercial stuff, and then do some mentoring. I really want to provide back again, giving back to the youth and giving them kind of insight on what they can do outside of ball if they don't make it in sports. You think the only way to have financial success and have all these gains is merely through entertainment. So many different avenues, so many different ways you can be successful later on in life. So 5 years, kind of just growing those each in their own way and just going from there.
For sure. Well, again, appreciate you for for coming on.
Best show.
And being a great guest for us.
Man, it's gonna be the greatest rated episode.
Hey,
I'm
man,
tell you right now. Call it now.
Dude, put it out there. Put it in the air.
The GOAT.
Hey,
Episode 1. The GOAT.
Here,
that's what we call it. The GOAT.
Hey, listen, if you come, you better come to Step.
You hear me?
And
he said it first.
Thanks, Tyrell.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Game. Please like, subscribe, comment on your favorite platform. It helps others find the show.
Special shout out to Open Heart Media, who has helped produce Beyond the Game. Check them out at openheartmediaco.com.